You are now listening to Season 3, Episode 2 of Terminal 234. On this episode, we talk about the Gayle King controversy with her interview with Lisa Leslie, as well as the Okada ban and the NBA trade deadline. As for our main topic, we talk all things traveling to Nigeria. So stay tuned and you'll hear all we get into. Welcome back to Terminal 234. It is Faye on the mic with...
Yo, what's up? This is Dolapo. How are you guys doing? This is Terminal 234. Woo! Somebody told me that our intros, like, sometimes we start off like, hi, welcome. So
we're too chill.
We need to be hype.
But I'm sitting here like, that was so forced, Dolapo. I don't know what that was, but I guess, put some sauce in it.
I'm mad hype right now, guys. I'm so excited for this episode. How are you feeling, Faye? Are you excited as well?
I'm feeling real good. I am excited. I guess I'll turn on my pizzazz. Yes, we're here. Episode 2, Season 3. Let's get it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So, starting off with what everyone's been talking about this week, the Gayle King thing.
Oh, yeah.
I actually don't want to talk too much about it, but we can talk about it just because it's a major thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. But for those that don't know, Gayle King was interviewing Lisa Leslie, who used to play for the LA Sparks, Los Angeles Sparks, one of the greatest WNBA players ever. She was also friends with Kobe, which I think is important to know. And I don't know 100%, but I want to say the whole interview was because of Kobe.
I believe so too, yeah.
Kobe's passing away, rest in peace. And during the interview, there were clips that were released. I haven't listened to the whole interview. I don't even know if it's out yet.
I've only heard clips as well.
Yeah, but there were clips where she basically asked about how should we view Kobe with the previous allegations of sexual assaults, which I don't know if you remember, but this was years ago. He
early
was
2000s.
Yeah, early 2000s, was accused of sexually assaulting someone. Yeah. This girl that worked at a hotel. The whole case basically got dismissed. They did settle out of court in the civil case, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Yeah. But the point really isn't about the details of the case. The point is, why are you asking Lisa Leslie about this at all?
Yeah.
So I'll let you go in first.
I was actually hoping you would start, but fine, I'll go ahead and start. My response to the whole thing is I understand the outrage, because I guess that's where we're headed with this. There's a lot of outrage about her asking the question.
Yeah.
I think the most prominent person to speak out about it is Snoop Dogg. He kind of made a whole thing about it. He was very expressive, to say the least. To put it lightly, he was very expressive about his views on the whole situation. And it's a sentiment that was agreed upon by many. My thing about it is I wasn't so outraged about her asking it, because it's just naturally going to come up, because unfortunately with anybody's legacy, it's usually not all good. It's rare that it's 100% good.
It wouldn't be real if it was 100% good.
It wouldn't be real, exactly. Actually, part of the reason that his legacy is so strong is because of maybe some of his transgressions, or
he's a human being. He wasn't never painted to be perfect. He never tried to paint himself as that, so people can relate to that.
Exactly. So in death, your legacy comes up quite a bit, and it has to be talked about in extent when you're of the caliber that Kobe Bryant is.
Yes.
My issue has never been that it's brought up. It's about the way it's brought up and the care that's taken when it's brought up. You have to be nuanced about it. It's a whole conversation there that you can't just throw out without realizing the implications it has. And such implications include that he is a black man. So you have to realize, as a black woman, the optics are going to look way different than any other person talking about it. Like a white male, a white woman, anybody else. You have to realize the way it comes across. And you have to, bring that into your views. You have to include that in the way you're approaching the conversation. And I think the main issue was Gayle kind of she was so... She layered it on way too thick. When Lisa rebutted, she would say something like, well, you weren't there, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, that was an exchange where she basically said, where Lisa Leslie basically answered her question, said, well, I've never known him to be like that. I've never seen him approach me or anyone like that. I know players that are not even out of like anything wrong, but are like a lot more aggressive and like, oh, can you get me her number? Like he's never been that kind of person to me. And Gayle King basically just retorted with, oh, but you wouldn't know. So then to me, that's actually my whole issue with the whole question. It was, she wouldn't know. So why are you asking her in the first place? Like, what was the exchange going to bring up? Like, was she going to be like, oh, you're so right. Like, yeah, let's think about that. And that's her friend. That's why I think I started off with like, oh yeah, like they were friends. So you're not going to ask his friend at that, like, especially like this quickly after it happened. Like, that's just, the timing is off. There's nothing that's going to come out of that exchange other than you bring it back up.
As a reporter, your job is to ask uncomfortable questions, is to ask uncomfortable questions, especially when it is pertinent to the whole conversation that's being had. But maybe, like, again, acknowledge that, okay, I understand that you guys are friends. Do you have anything you want to say about it, and accept whatever she says as what she says, and don't come off as defensive or as like you have something to gain from poking and prodding, because again, let's even think about Gayle's personal situation with circumstances like this. Her co-anchor Charlie Rose on CBS had not similar but allegations in that whole Me Too
sexual
realm.
Harassment.
Yes, and the way she approached it is, I'm friends with the guy, so I have to be careful about how I talk about it. And nobody, to my knowledge, really pressed her on it to the point where she had to like come out against him or anything of that sort. So again, you should maybe think about how you had to handle the situation when it came to a friend of yours, and be more careful about how you're talking to Lisa about it. That was my issue with it. Not that she brought it up, period. And I kind of cringe when people are like, as a black woman, you shouldn't bring it up. It's like...
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I just think it's a matter of the timing of it. You know, I think that if it's a question that's going to come up, right, which like you've kind of talked about, it's going to come up. I just think it's a matter of, do you have to ask now, right? Like, it's kind of like, can you wait another month? Can you wait like a couple of weeks? Like, why do we have to, in this moment while people are still grieving, why do we have to be like, oh, well, let's remember like everything? Like, no, when people pass, that's why you try to celebrate them.
I get
you celebrate
what you
the good. Like, I don't know
mean.
how people view it, but to me, I don't look at it as we're ignoring everything that ever happened. Like, I would never say Kobe was an angel. Time. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're not doing that, but we're just being sad that he lost his life anyway. Like, a lot of the people that have talked about Kobe have talked about how he matured, how he grew, how like he became a better person. All these different things. So it's like, can we allow him to just like, can we give him that credit?
And I appreciate people that keep saying he's not guilty. Like, of course, if like R. Kelly dies today, you're not going to not talk about it, but that's a lot of it is because, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, he's guilty in the court of public opinion. So of course the way you talk about it is different than somebody who's been found innocent. Like, it's not something that you can ignore. Or even if he wasn't found innocent per se, it was settled out of court. He wasn't found guilty, period, point blank. I just want people to remember, and I don't know, I could be on the wrong side of this, but I want people to remember that this is not like a friend, a family member talking at his funeral. This is a reporter, and this is information that people who aren't Kobe fans want to know or hear. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I get where you're coming from. In death, maybe be more careful about the timing of such questions. I'm just saying, like, she's doing a job. Be
more careful, and just the timing was off, and you just don't ask that person to Lisa Leslie. Like, you can ask the question in a general way, but you don't need to ask her. Like, think if someone dies, like, you don't go ask their husband or wife, like, oh yeah, so your husband just died. Sorry about that. So let's talk about how like he did something 20 years ago. Like, why are you gonna ask me that? Like, what am I going? You know what I mean? That's the only part that I really hate. Was that there was no point in it, because nothing was gonna come out of it other than what has come out of it. There was no other way. But let's move off of Gayle King, because I don't think I care about her that much. I think we talked about it enough. But let's talk about the NBA. There were a couple of trades in NBA. So if you guys don't know, we don't talk about the NBA enough on here, but we are NBA fans.
Yeah, both of us
support the league and the sport and all that.
That's the only sport I care about, to be honest.
Yeah, so NBA is like what's popping. So NBA trade deadline just came and went on Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern. The big trade, I think. Well, there's a couple of big trades, but the big trade was kind of like the biggest is
the D'Lo one.
Honestly, it's the biggest.
Are you gonna say the Iguodala one?
The Iguodala trade to me is like weird, because I don't know why they would give him a contract extension after the fact. Like, it's weird to me. I'm like, okay, like, I understand he's gonna help your team get better, but he's also old. So, and he seemed to me like he was already starting to break down at Golden State. Yeah. So I'm like, I wouldn't want to give him an extension, but
I would say the likes of like Pat Riley and the Heat brand and community as a whole is all about like long-term family type relationships. You know what I mean? I feel like it's bigger than just his skill set or whatever he can give them. It's more about like the whole optics, the whole relationship, the vibes.
Of course, yeah. And I think they have a good track record. And
yeah, just, like, exactly.
They know how to deal with players when they're aging and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, the D'Angelo Russell trade was something that we all saw coming months ago. It was like the least surprising thing, except for the fact that like he was traded for Andrew Wiggins, that part of it.
Right.
But him being traded by the Warriors was like, yes, they signed him to trade him. Like literally when the GM Bob Myers was like, we're not signing him to trade him, it was like, yes, you are. Because he doesn't fit on your team. Even
on what you're saying, though, another reason why we saw this coming a while ago is that D-Lo had like an interview with, I think it was Slam Magazine or something, where he had said a while ago that he's definitely going to link up with Karl Anthony Towns and who's his other friend? Devin Booker. He said that the three of them are going to play together at one point on one team. And he basically prophesized
Can I just say something real quick about that those trio players?
That trio,
Their team together would suck. They would not be good.
You don't think they would play
well
together?
The Timberwolves are not going to be good with D'Angelo Russell. They're literally, it's like a...
Ooh, that's a hot take.
It really shouldn't be, though. D'Angelo Russell is like... He's a good player, but he plays zero defense. Karl Anthony Towns plays zero defense.
Yeah, it's a great offensive matchup, but you're right. Defensively,
if you put two players that don't play any defense, like they're not like okay. Let's do this comparison. Do you think both of them combined are that much better than like John Wall and Bradley Beal? I don't think that they are.
No, you're right.
If they're struggling in the East and you're in the West, they're not doing anything.
But it is still a good trade when it comes to him versus Andrew Wiggins. Like he's definitely a step above Andrew Wiggins. Like we can't ignore that. And together they will be a great offensive duo. But you're right, they're still lacking as a team in defensive.
I think that they'll sell tickets. I don't think they're really going to make the playoffs. And if they do, they're going to be like the 8th seed, like in a year or two. And they're not going to be.
I will say though, we don't need Booker to finish off that trio. Like you had mentioned, we need like a stronger defensive player.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's to me like the Warriors want to trade, of course.
You think?
Not even close. Yes, they got Andrew Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins fits their team. He's young. He could still be really good. Like people hate on him so much, but
because he kind of plateaued and he was number one pick.
Did, but if there was any team he was gonna go to that he would actually improve,
it is GSW.
He's not gonna be asked to I think of him as like he's Harrison Barnes, but like he's actually better than Harrison Barnes.
Like a very good role player. Like will do his job well.
They still have Steph. They still have Klay
like
Thompson.
Star.
They don't need him to do the most. If he averages 15 and plays defense for once, like that's good.
Yeah,
and his reputation will go up. Like I just think and they get a pick. Don't forget to get a first round pick.
They do get a first round pick. That
makes so much sense for them, I think. Okay. So yeah, NBA trade deadline. That's I think all I want to talk about.
Yeah, I think those are the only two trades.
Yeah, those are the major ones. Let's talking about like stuff that's going on in the world. We're not talking about that, but let's talk about it now. So in Lagos this week, starting on I believe Saturday, they have implemented fully the Okada ban. I don't think that's the official name, but that's pretty much what it is.
I mean,
it's a ban on Okadas and Keke Napeps. And if you don't know what Okada is, I believe fact check me, but I believe that Okada might actually just like be in Oxford Dictionary, so you might be able to look it up now.
Oh, really? I can't fact check that. So.
I was hiding that little news that I found out, but they added a couple words, Nigerian words, to the Oxford Dictionary.
Nice.
So Okada is basically like it's a motorcycle they use for public transportation in all over Nigeria, but very much in Lagos. So like everywhere because there's so much traffic for you to get anywhere on time.
And for those of you that are thinking motorcycle, public transportation, that sounds unsafe. It is unsafe.
Yeah, I mean, they have different things. They wear helmets now, and they have hair nets.
Okay.
But I have never been on one, and I don't plan on going on one in my life. So.
I have never been on one, and I regret it. I would have liked to have at least gone on one Okada ride in my life.
Guys, I'm sorry if you've had to do that. You know, it doesn't make me bougie.
But if you didn't hear Miriam in the background, she definitely just called Dolapo bougie for it.
Are missing out.
I already said it. I would have wanted to at least go on one Okada ride before.
Yeah, maybe like down the block. I don't want to be on the highway with it. I'm
not about to be on like Third Mainland Bridge or anything. No, thank you. Yes, no. Down the street to go get some agege bread. I want to do it in the streets in
Lekki, like one street that have no cars, like that
right. Yeah.
So yeah, it's had a pretty big effect. A lot of people have been complaining. There's been protests. Just because traffic is really bad and people feel like this just makes traffic so much worse because now they have to be in cars because this doesn't alleviate the issues with cars on the road. It just emphasizes it. And also people feel like the okada men need like a way to make money.
I mean, it is a huge job market in Lagos.
It is. So it's like they feel basically like they're being attacked by this policy. And the policy is not a new policy, by the way. It's a policy that's been on the books, I believe, since 2018. It's just being like fully enforced now, where it's like they're arresting people like for driving okadas on the road. So of course people are still driving them, but they're still around, but very scarce because people are maybe less willing to risk their livelihood and life to make a little bit of money. So, you know, we hope things get better there. I hope that they have a better plan or a bigger plan. Something that I would suggest to the Nigerian government, because, you know, they need my suggestions. They need to, like, just stop people from driving their cars on the road. There's just too many cars.
Just end driving?
They need to limit it. Like no, because there are countries that do that. Like, I know in China, they have, like, depending on what kind of license plate you have and stuff like that, you can only drive certain days. Oh. So it limits how, like, they need to limit, they need to limit how many cars can be on the road.
Or at a time.
Because the problem is there's just too many cars for the roads. So you need more roads, bigger roads, of course. But now,
better infrastructure. But
that takes longer. We also just need to limit the number of people that can be driving.
Because we are a very populous country.
Yeah, so and cars are cheap enough now that a lot of people have cars. Yeah. Like, it's not like maybe back in the day when no one had cars. Yeah, it's just a regular thing if you have a car. So yeah, I don't know, anything else you want to dive into before we get into our main topic for the day?
No, I think we're good.
New music.
Ooh, yes. How could we forget our newest segment?
Yes, new music segment.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, I'm not going to lie. I haven't really thought about it. So I'll let you start.
All right. So my new music segments, I don't have a song for you. I have an album. You know, I'm kind of my album ways right now. I haven't actually listened to the whole album, so I'm kind of faking a little bit. But what I've heard of it, I like so far. I've heard it's good. Okay. And I like the artist, so I know that it's good. I just haven't gone around to listen to the whole thing. Okay. It's the album by Russ.
Ooh, I like Russ.
I really like Russ. Look at you.
Yeah. Yes, I like
the album is called Shake the Snow Globe.
Yeah.
It's a really good album. It's like rap, but it's not just like hardcore rap. It's like very singy, songy. And he's just really good. He makes really good music.
Yeah, I do
and
like
I just like the way he like thinks.
I like his vibe. You know what? Let me give you guys a little bit of an anecdote. I've liked him for a while. And like as a throwback, he was on Everyday Struggle way back when. And I was liking his vibe. I was feeling it. And then Joe came back because it was like a Friday episode Russ was on. Joe came back. He was all mad and shit and like talk Russ out the room. Oh yeah. Not out the room literally. I know by the way. Okay, so yeah. And I was like sitting there like, bro, you would love Russ. Like you would love him. Like his vibe is so like Joe. Like in terms of how he talks, what he believes in. This is Joe Budden, by the way. In case sorry. Guys. If you're not like a regular listener of this podcast, you would know, but you wouldn't know. Sorry, but yeah. I was thinking like you would love him, and now all of a sudden Joe Budden is Mr. Russ, and like that's.
Yeah, I mean his love is probably a little too much, like it's kind of groupie status, but yeah, Russ is awesome. I like.
Yeah, Russ. He's really cool. For me, let me say an album I've listened to a couple times over since it came out is the 07 O'Shea one. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've heard about it, but I don't actually know this artist. But like, it's like all those music that like I don't listen to, but people hype, so I need to listen to.
Yeah, no, like you would know her from like some projects with Kanye. She was on that Pusha T album, the most recent one. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about. She had a song. I think it was like Santa Maria or something like that. Either way,
I love that song.
Yeah, that's my favorite. You know the girl singing on it, Santeria. There we go. That's her. Okay. So you know her from that. She had some appearances on Ye and whatnot. Okay. Her full length project is so good. It's very vibey. So if you're into that type of music, you would be into it. It's just cool all around, different sonically. Like it doesn't really sound like much else going on right now. So yeah, it's a good project.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, guys, check those out. Let us know what you think, and you know, of course, let us know whose music you like better. Run a competition.
He will not let that one go out. Music is too subjective for that. I don't want this to be a competition. Music is love.
Everything is a competition. Love is a competition.
Whatever. All right, guys. So for our main topic for today, we have our special correspondent, our reoccurring guest on the mic with us. Woo! Why don't you just go ahead and plug yourself, as we know you're already going to do.
Okay, so as you guys already know, my name is Doyin, and you can follow me at Miss Doyin J on all platforms. I can't talk today. on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just to plug myself in, so I don't have to do this in the middle of the episode, we're going to be talking about Nigeria and just going back home. I have a 3-part vlog series about this on my YouTube page. Again, you can find me MS Doyin, J as in Jay. And
how you spell Doyin?
Really?
You know,
really? Okay, you know
you
what?
don't know who's listening.
Sorry, I thought he was just being smart. You know Dolapo, you can never tell. MSDOYINJAY. So if you want to like actually get the visuals for everything that we're going to talk about, make sure you check it out. It's a really cool series, if I do say so myself.
All right,
I can stamp that.
We'll put the link in the description of this.
Yeah.
So if you're watching or listening, look for the link.
Now, guys, before we go into the topic that Doyin just mentioned, we do want to like follow up on our episode from last week. We talked all about the travel ban. As you guys know, Nigeria is one of the 4 countries that was added in this new slate of the travel ban. Yeah. And with that, Nigeria has come back with some updates to their visa system. There is a new visa policy that's been rolled out, correct? Mm-hmm. Now, there's quite a bit of changes. I think the most notable one is that they've added several more classes.
Yes.
That's even an understatement. It's like exponentially more. I think they are going from 6 to 79 classes.
Yep. 6 to 79.
Yeah, which is crazy. But that just means hopefully that the process will become more streamlined in the sense that it's catered more like specifically to different classes of people, especially when it comes to those coming from abroad who are dual citizenship. Citizenship holders. They shouldn't be lumped in with people who are maybe just American citizens. So things like that will be rolled out, and we'll see what the Trump administration has to say about it. But that's kind of the latest on that.
Yeah, I don't really know if it makes things better, but it is a change for whatever it's worth. But yeah, we'll see how that actually affects people, because a lot of things get rolled out, and then the effect is what the effect
very
is.
Menial.
Very different than whatever the intent was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now to the fun stuff, right?
Yeah, fun stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so assuming you have your visa in hand or whatever, you're a citizen, and you end up in Nigeria, let's talk about that. Let's talk about first and foremost the fact that both of you were there very recently. How was that?
Cool.
That's it? Cool?
I was waiting for the
She had a whole 3-part vlog about it, and all it was cool.
It was really, really awesome. First of all, I'll say make sure you don't end up there the way Faye said it. Make sure you plan ahead. Don't just end up in Nigeria again.
Unless you plan to go.
Dolapo's one friend ended up there. He planned it, but he kind of ended up there, and like that's a whole different story. One day you can
No, he didn't end up there. He planned it, but he didn't do all his paperwork on time. So, of course, I mean, if you're listening to this, you know, if you're traveling, you need a passport. That's just like an essential thing.
Number one.
So his passport was like, I think he lost one of his passports. His other passport was expired.
Oh.
So that was the beginning of his issue.
Yeah.
So then when he got to Nigeria, they like didn't let him
and
enter.
just know, just because you're American, they're not gonna just let you enter. Make sure you plan, get your visa, whatever it is you need to do. So my point is, don't just end up there. But it's awesome if your trip is well planned, if you have an agenda. If you kind of know who you want to see, what you want to do, it's a really fun place to be. Right. But the tickets are also mad expensive in December. But that's also like really the only time to go to Nigeria is in December during the holidays.
Yeah,
I would say after that maybe summer, but honestly, bar none, December.
Summertime, like before we used to go in the summer all the time, but then our first December experience after that, we're like, we don't want to come to summer
ever again.
Yeah, because the difference is like in the summer, people have like work. Like summer for us is not summer for them, so it makes no difference.
Yeah.
December is literally a holiday period.
Yeah.
People stop working for like a couple of weeks. People take their leave during that time. So
you're right.
You can actually do a lot of things, and people have your time if you want to hang out with them.
Right. I would say the only reason the tickets are nearly as expensive in the summer is because so many people here have the time off. Like if they're traveling with their kids and whatever, and summer vacations and whatever. But it is rainy season in Nigeria at that time, so it's not the best time. Honestly, December is, for what it's worth, that's the best time to go.
It is.
But besides cool, how was it? Like,
no, I mean, what do you want me to dig into? Do you
Detty December equals what?
First of all, Detty December equals, it's almost like, it can almost draw a parallel to almost, why do I keep saying almost? Oh my god.
Yeah, just speak, please.
It's almost like what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But like,
I don't know about that.
But like on a less intense level, because like you get your chance to go there, wear your fancy clothes, pretend like you make all this money, look expensive, smell expensive, form an accent. You know, you get all this time to like do all of that.
Why are you forming accents? What kind of accent are you forming? I'm so confused about what you're saying.
Because, you know, like okay, for example, as I'm talking to you guys right now, my Nigerian accent is coming out.
Yeah.
If you're in Nigeria, naturally your Nigerian accent should come out. But I know, like, I don't know about you. There's certain situations that call for you to just open your phone and just start being American again. You get to do that if you love doing that. If you like to make shakara and all of that, you get that opportunity. Yeah. But even more so, it was such a great experience to just go back and see a lot of phenomenal places, learn a little bit more about, you know, our roots, our culture, and just to be immersed in it, because there's just nowhere like home. So, and the food, oh my gosh, the food is like, food. The food is just, I don't even know, there's no word for it. It's amazing.
It was a lot of fun.
That was well said. Yeah. Better said than cool. Dolapo, how about you? How was it? What did you think?
I thought it was cool too. It was a lot of fun. No, it was a lot of fun. I like being in Nigeria because that's like, I'm in my element when I'm in Nigeria. So I feel, you know, I'm at home. Yeah. I don't have to do like this or do like that. I'll just do like I want to do.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that. Maybe in your head you're thinking that, but like...
Yeah, like when I'm in Nigeria, like I try my best to immerse myself, like she said, and just be like one of the people. Yeah. So like one of the things I did, I drove when I was in Nigeria. People were like, how can you drive? Yeah. But I drove. I got in 2 accidents, and I was like, "Yes,
I'm in 2 accidents."
I did. One
over
accident.
The course of like what 2 or 3
So let me see. What was the first accident? I was like, in Nigeria, there's no road. I was in a shopping complex, and I was trying to park. There was no space. I was like, okay, let me go somewhere else. Then I nicked the car, but the person was not there. It was a parked car, so I was like, okay, there's no one there. Let me go. Then this guy behind me
is coming back at you.
No, the guy behind me blocked me. He didn't let me go. He was like, "Oh, that's my sister's car you hit." And I was by myself. No, I was by myself. I just dropped off like 2 girls. So like, but they're like from here, so they're not gonna help me in this situation. I was like, oh, okay. So what's going to happen? I was trying to calculate how far am I from the house. Still 20 minutes away with traffic. So I was just like, yo, I didn't hit the car. The guy was like, you hit the car. I was like, no. He was like, go and look at the car. I was like, okay. So I walked to the car. I looked, I nicked it. Like literally the color of my car was like black. You could see it on the car. So I couldn't even lie. I was just like, oh, okay. I was like, so what should we now do? The guy too did not know what to do with me.
Like you pull out insurance.
So
that's the annoying part about traffic.
He was just looking at me and then he was like, all right, just go. Okay, thank you. And I ran away as fast as I could. Yeah. And then a week later,
that was anticlimactic. I was waiting for the police was called.
That was the warm-up.
That was the warm-up. Let's get to the good
stuff. That was not really an accident. That was just like a nick. Like you said, the real accident was like
the real accident was like at night. We're going to dinner, like a big group dinner. Yeah. So I'm driving, like living my estate where we live. You have to get on the road, make a left turn. I looked at the road. I mean, I've been driving for years, guys. I've never been in an accident before Nigeria. So I know how to drive. I'm a professional driver, Class A. And there was no cars on the road. I promise you, like, there was no cars. It was at night, though, but there was no cars. I turned. As soon as I made my left, I was done making my left and just from behind. And he hit me. Like, literally, I was like... I was so confused, like, what just happened?
Where did that come from?
So I just pulled over to the side... because it was like a bad like accident or whatever. Okay. So I got out the car like, let me see like what the damage is. As soon as I stepped out my car, 2 men bum rushed me, grabbing my shirt. Blah, you hit my car, my radiator. I was like, yo, like, calm down.
Wait, you hit a car from the back?
No,
they hit me.
Yeah, so I'm confused.
That's part of the Nigeria story. You see why you don't want to go to Nigeria and just land there. Yeah. You better know what you're doing.
For like a good 30 minutes, we were there, and I mean, I didn't really talk to them because I already knew like I wasn't about to make any logic to them. Yeah. But they were just yelling. Actually, one of them stayed and was yelling, raining curses. My boat's going to die. Something's going to happen. God. He was like, if I had a bottle, I'll break it on your head. I was just like, bro, leave me alone.
And this is the guy that hit.
Luckily, like it was literally right out my estate. So my dad was home. Like a couple of his friends were home. So like I had backup. So I just called my backup. Like, yo. Come through. So I already called them. I knew I was good. I just needed to just wait till they came. So I was like, I'm not really about to fight you. Like, what am I going to do? In the middle of the street, like, in Lagos, like, what? And nobody got involved. People were just walking by, like, it's not my business. But eventually it got settled. Police came. Police were like, looked at the 2 guys, like, wait, you guys are here? Like, you guys are complaining? You hit them from the back. Like, what's your story? And then they're like, oh... And of course, they just apologize. They don't have money to fix the car. They don't have anything. So they just went home.
Mind you, this was the one guy that was jumping up and down like a frog, yelling at everybody, cursing people out. Like he was like really,
even when my dad came and like his friend came and they were like, dude, Ogbeni, calm down. He was like, no. Just because you have money, don't. We were like, who said anything about money? Like, literally, that's what he was saying to me before they came. I was like, who said anything about money? Like, I don't understand. Of course, I dressed nice. I was going out to dinner. But, like, still, the guy was already, like, on another wave. And he was just going off. And
First of all, they can smell the Americanness on you.
It was a lot.
You don't even have to open your mouth and talk.
Yeah. Moral of the story, Dolapo can't drive in Nigeria.
No, I'm going to keep driving. What you mean?
Okay.
I actually except for that second accident, because that was a lot.
Then. It was very intense and like, but like, you know, that's just part of driving in Nigeria.
It's part of driving.
It is. It's just unfortunate that in like your 2-week span of driving there.
But driving in Nigeria is crazy. Traffic is crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I did not make it to December or Dirty December this 2019 season. Future Dirty Decembers will find me there for sure. Yeah. But I've definitely been to Nigeria a fair share over the years. The last time I was there, I think, was 2017 for this one's wedding. Not even in the same realm, but for this one's wedding. And before that, I had gone like maybe every 2 years-ish. Prior leading up to that. So I've been to I've been to Nigeria quite often, and I've definitely enjoyed myself over the years. I agree with the sentiments that both of you guys shared for sure. Something Doyin said that I loved was that, like, you know, you just go there looking your best, feeling your best, doing your best. And a lot of the reason is because, like, that dollar goes a long way in Nigeria. A long ass way. That's one of my favorite things, that, like, it's such a cheap vacation, and you can have yourself a damn good time.
I will intercept and say, like, this time it wasn't that cheap. It depends. No, it depends on, like, even the activities you want to do, because, like, going in with, like, the cultural shift and changes, like, people are spending more money doing things like eating out, like you'll go to more high-end restaurants. Like, I literally this was a fight I had to have with everybody that was like, I want to take you out, let's go here. I'm like, stop freaking taking me to nice restaurants. Like, I'm like, take me to somewhere on the side of the road. Take me to a buka. Take me to like somewhere with like some wood things and some canopy over it. Like, that's what I want to eat. Stop taking me to all these fancy places where I'm gonna like spend 15,000 naira a meal. Like, no, you can do that. You can easily get cheap meals for like 500 naira.
Yeah, no, on that note, like speaking to that, I know for me, there's two different types of vacations. There's more like lavish or relaxing, or like I want to spend that coins type of relationship. Yeah. And then there's the Nigeria type of vacation. Like, I want to
look good, live my best life, but I want to do it on like...
And like, for me, it's the Nigeria vacation is like immersing yourself, like you guys said, and immersing yourself is going to the buka restaurant you can't go to here, and that costs you like a couple hundred naira for a good ass meal. And, so that's why I'm like, I feel like it could be a cheap vacation if you want it to be, honestly.
Of course.
But I mean, to even speak to that, I know we wanted to speak about like all the things that come with going to Nigeria, like outside of, you know, just the food. There's plenty other things like the traffic, which you kind of touched on when it came to
so traffic in Nigeria is crazy. Just be aware that if you're going to Nigeria, especially Lagos. So a lot of times, we should probably do this. A lot of times we talk about Nigeria and people refer to where they know. So I specifically know Lagos way more than like anywhere else.
For sure, that's a good point.
I think that our conversation, unfortunately, is a little bit like biased, like towards Lagos. So a lot of things that we're talking about is Lagos specific. Because I know people are from like Jos and like other places like that. I don't know what those vibes are like. I'm sure they're really nice, and we need to visit more. I need to do more traveling. In Nigeria, because there's so many places.
I think we should talk about that in future episodes. Just
we should, because it's so funny actually. Like the perception that we have, especially like people that maybe lived or grew up in Lagos of other places. Because I have a friend that was like, he's from Owerri, and he was like, oh, come to Owerri, and like my parents were like, no, don't go to Owerri. But Owerri is not that bad, like economically, like it's not that bad. Like they're doing pretty well, like compared to the rest of Nigeria, so it shouldn't be that bad. Like, but if people are scared to go to places where they're not comfortable, especially in Nigeria, a lot of adults, I think our generation are more willing to travel, but our like parents' generation are more like, no, just stay here. Don't go.
Them too.
Don't
go anywhere.
It was definitely way more unsafe back then, and there's a huge amount of concerns still to this day in terms of safety. So I understand it completely.
Yeah, and you just have to be careful wherever you go in Nigeria. Like, of course, there's crime anywhere in the world. That's just the way it is. So Nigeria is just about being aware of where you are. and don't do the most. Like, people like to travel to other countries and then do the most. And it's like, don't do what you wouldn't do at home first of all. And even anything you do at home, like, relax. You're not at home, so don't do that.
I would never say, just be a low-key, toned-down, cool version of yourself. Like, even the stuff that you would do here, like, don't do it there because, for example, in America, we value customer service really highly. Like, we think very highly of it, and that can determine how successful your business will be. In Nigeria, there's nothing like, I don't want to say there's nothing like that, but it's just starting to become something that people are looking at. There's so many places that you can go and you can talk about, you can shout from here to tomorrow, you can curse them out, you can do this, you can do that. Like, that's not going to change anything. That's if you're lucky. That's if they don't want to fight you back. So it's like, even some of the things that you would do here, you can't even do it there. And you might not think it's a big deal. So that's that too.
Yeah.
Just be... I think on the note of like crime and all that, just be aware of your surroundings at all times. Just because even if we're talking like nightlife in Nigeria, like you gotta just be very aware, know what's going on, be vigilant, and be around people that are, so that even if you catch yourself slipping or you're caught slipping, they got your back.
And always have a born, bred, raised Nigerian tour guide with you. Like, I can't say that more. Like, even during the whole accident thing that happened before, like, my dad was able to come and intercept, we had been in an Uber, my two cousins and I were in an Uber. Cordy, were you in that Uber too? No, you joined us. She was in a car. So we were both...
That's our off-mic audience members. You guys are like, who the fuck is Cordy?
So like we were in that car, and the first thing, like, we got a phone call from them saying, like, Kafaya, who's like our cousin, you'll see her on my vlogs too. Like, she's the person that basically was our tour guide that was with us everywhere. She was the first person that came and was able to intercept and like calm down the madman. Like, he still didn't calm down. But, like,
I was about to say,
but she was able to. I mean, he kind of was able to like back up a little bit and be like, oh wait, they do have backup. And so it only kept getting worse from there. And like as more backup people came in, it kind of like weakened his energy.
It didn't.
It weakened his energy to the point where he was able to apologize and walk away.
No, he apologized because the police came. And he was like, he had no case. And once the police came, because literally when they said they're going to call the police, he was like, call the police. He was like, you have to call the commissioner of police before I can calm down. Like, he was not calm at all. So nothing changed his mind. But I do understand.
But like, if you didn't have Nigerians there that had the police number that they would actually take seriously, that they would actually come and meet you and all of that, he might have still kept going and felt like he was going to hustle you out of money or something.
Of course, no, you definitely want to be around people that know the lay of the land, as they say, right? That's important. Another thing you kind of talked about changes. So like we kind of all mentioned, I don't think we all mentioned, but we all generally like visit Nigeria pretty often. And one of the major changes I've seen, at least like this last time I went around, was just nightlife. I don't know if it's because I'm older, so I like get to experience it more. But the nightlife is definitely like changing and becoming more Western.
But that's a huge point that you said, that you didn't get to experience it in the past. Because I do think, like, I mean, La 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 Friday, like the nightlife has always been
people used to, back in the days, like when we were younger, people used to make it sound like nightlife was for like prostitutes and stuff. Like it was like for wayward people. It's for wayward people.
Our aunties and uncles and daddies and mummies and all of them were about that.
They made it sound like you could only go to a club with your husband or like your wife, but if you're like a young lady or a young man,
you're right. Let's say uncles and daddies and brothers.
But the uncles used to go, and they were the only people that were like, okay, they would go, and nobody would think anything of it. But as a young person, especially a young woman, it's like, are you wayward? Are you a prostitute? It's like a completely different.
You're right.
But now,
what did you think of the nightlife? Because you don't go to experience nightlife. Me, I didn't do nightlife because I'm a good boy. I just stayed in the house. So how was nightlife for you?
I have incriminating documents of you enjoying nightlife.
I know Doyin's vlog. Doyin said she was partying with Burna Boy. Did you see it? And I was like, wow, partying with Burna Boy. Long.
Check it out if you want to see it. Nightlife in Nigeria is sweet. It's sweet. I can't say more than that. It's just sweet. So have your money ready. The one thing that I didn't like too much about it though is like, it's not like here where you pay your $20 cover fee, do your own thing, go there and catch your own vibes. It's almost kind of like, at least the good clubs, or like I don't want to say the good clubs, the ones that people talk about, the bigger popular clubs like Quillox, DNA, all these places that Cubana, the places that all the people on vlogs talk about. Like if you want to go there, you kind of already have to go out prepared to get like a table or a bottle, because that's the first thing they kind of expect out of you. And they inspect you at the door. They kind of like look you up and down, see if you have money, kind of thing. Like, and I don't remember, was it DNA? No, it was Cubana that we went to at first, that they were kind of looking at us. They tried to lie to us. They were like, you had to have a reservation first.
Yeah.
And this is where you have to have backup. So our cousin was there, Jide was there, and he was like, okay guys, don't talk, let me do the talking. And I don't know what he said to them. He said something to them. They let us in. But they basically look you up and down. If they don't feel like you have that much money to come, like if you can't afford a table, they will almost always turn you away. So it's a little different vibe than here, where it's kind of like, I have my $20 cover, I got my license, I'm legal, let me in. Like, they're not going to stop you, and they're not going to look you up and down and say, well, can you afford a table?
You know,
did you reserve a table today?
More about though? I want to hear more about this whole like stripper club lifestyle.
So
out there
I'm
now.
getting to that. So that's the biggest thing that I would say, that you have to be prepared to like pay for a bottle or pay for a table. So that's going right off the bat. Don't think you're just going to go, I'm just going to buy my little cocktail and pay my $20 cover or whatever it is. No, it doesn't work like that. Second of all, there's a huge shift in like nightlife. Like we said before, I used to always see it, and this is how our parents used to talk about it, like you're a wayward person if you go out and blah blah blah. Now it's completely different. Like we went to, and I'm just gonna say where it is. We went to.
You don't have to give all the details. You can talk about it in general.
We went to.
I wasn't part of we anyway. I'm protecting those people. That's all.
No. It's not even about the place. The place is fine. I could say where I went to. It's about what we saw outside of the place. So, and I don't want to spoil their market by saying this in case other people might not want to go.
Don't say it.
So we went to a place to pregame. And one of the things that I noticed even was like, there was like a whole line of prostitutes outside, like openly. Like it was kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like a shelf like, of people like
red line district.
Yeah, like it was just like a whole line of people, and like there was this one lady. She had her behind turned to the car, and as we were passing by, she was trying to wave and get our attention, and she literally kept like putting her butt against our window, so we could like see what's good. Like that's how out there it is. Like even my cousin that lives there, he's like, wow, well, people are just so open about it nowadays. Like this is somebody that lives there to even be surprised. So like. Yeah. People were straight up selling their goods. Like, it was out there. It was open. Nobody was stopping them. But, yeah, there's that. Strip clubs are a lot more popular now. There's a couple of strip clubs you can go to. If you watch Cardi B's Instagram videos, you saw a lot of that. Whole thing. So that's accessible to everyone now. That's not just, the 1% or, whatever it is. Like, that's open, and it's a thing that happens.
Yeah, no, I remember a couple years ago, I went to Nigeria. My friend was telling me, like, yeah, there's a strip club, but it's like in somebody's house. Like, it was like very sketchy.
Yeah.
Now it's like,
it's not like that. It's
kind
open.
Of said, there's just so many more of them, or so much more, that it's not a big deal to go. Just be aware that, be careful where you go.
Yeah.
Don't get kidnapped. I'm just joking, guys. There's no kidnappings in Lagos anymore.
I mean, you can't say that definitively. I mean, you can't just say there's
no, but I will say this, though, because I think it's important.
I felt more secure.
I think it's important for a lot of people that go, like, especially people that haven't gone recently or don't go usually, is that, yes, like, all those things are possible, but if you read the news, like, you're going to scare yourself thinking that you're going to be kidnapped every second. Like, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep. Like, we already said everything you need to do. Be around people that know the lay of the land, that you can trust, and don't do too much. Like, don't put your location on Twitter every second of the day. Like, I mean, just smart things to do. Yeah. Like, don't go on Twitter and say, guys, I'm going to this club. Catch me out. Like, no, you don't need to do that.
Yeah.
Keep a low profile.
Keep it low key.
Don't be a target. That's it.
Keep it low key. Even if you don't if you're not worried too much about safety per se, if you're even just putting up all your information on blast, like we're Nigerians, you have family that will want to like take advantage of you and come by and get your money and hang out and get the benefits. So for your own sanity, keep your business to yourself. Like have your small crew, your clique, and just keep it that way. That's the biggest thing.
I think we should wrap up our travel to Nigeria segment. Yeah. So Faye, last word on traveling to Nigeria. When are you going to Nigeria? Are you going this year?
I think
future plans.
I might.
Oh, you might have someone getting married and stuff.
There's a huge thing, yeah. There's a huge chance. But I guess last note on that is like eventually going back to Nigeria shouldn't only be a leisure thing for us.
Yeah.
I think it should be there should be some motivation in doing stuff to give back. I guess that's the best way I can put it. And however way you see fit, like whether it's just like taking like stuff to donate, like something as simple as that, like, or it could be something larger, like larger scale. Yeah. Whatever floats your boat. I feel like as we get older, I feel like the onus could be on us to make that a priority.
Of course, But make it count as much as possible whenever you go.
Exactly. But outside of that, I mean, just enjoy. It's like, it's a lit place. I love that.
Doing when next year you going to Nigeria?
Also probably this year.
Oh, sure. Okay.
She's been like every year for like
when I get my monies together, because people keep getting married and like y'all just like call me up.
You brought us to Africa for your own wedding, so it is what it is.
And I'm like, okay, fine. Okay. I'll pack my bag. See you in a bit.
True that. Cashier Nigeria.
I also did leave feeling inspired. Like outside of the whole turn up thing, I did feel very inspired just seeing people just make a life for themselves. One of the things that you guys talk about often is the government and like how difficult life can be in Nigeria. But like people are really out here hustling. Like everybody's finding a side hustle and they're kind of doing their thing, which is one of the reasons why I just decided to like get my stuff together, start doing my YouTube, because I was kind of feeling discouraged from my prior business experiences and ventures, and I like needed a mental break. But like just going there and seeing how hard people hustle like was inspiring, even if it's just the person that's selling peanut on the side of the road. It's the fact that they wake up every single morning and do that to fend for themselves and to survive. So it's like, if I have the choice to do something side hustle and that doesn't depend on me surviving, why am I saying, oh, maybe tomorrow, you know? So I did leave there feeling very, very inspired.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a very beautiful thing.
And Dolapo, you?
Oh, my last words is Nigeria's fun. Go to Nigeria as often as you can. And, you know, everything you guys said. Try to make a difference when you go. And, yeah, that's it.
That's all.
Going there and spending your money is a good way of helping as well.
Yeah.
Pump your money.
Pump your money into Nigerian businesses.
Yeah. Love it.
All right, time for shout-outs. We like to do this at the end of every episode. You know, shout out some people that have inspired us or are just making strides in the world, and we want to appreciate them. They left me with the worst shout out. I didn't even want this shout out. But
I have another one if you want to take it.
I guess I'll shout out the Chiefs and Andy Reid for winning the Super Bowl. I wanted them to win.
Quarterback.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, black quarterback. Shout him out as well. That's, definitely a good look for a black quarterback. They don't want to talk about him as a black quarterback, which I think is a lot of progress. They just think of him as like a quarterback. So, yeah. Go ahead. What do you want to shout out?
I want to shout out Davido because he is appearing on Wild and Out. It's premiering on Tuesday night, I believe. I don't know if the caption that I saw under that video is correct, if that was last Tuesday or this Tuesday, but everybody that saw the video is confused, so it must be this coming Tuesday. Davido's Wild and Out episode is coming out, but it looked cool. It looked like they brought Africa over here.
I feel like he's been on Wild and Out before. Am I making that up?
I don't know, but they had they literally had like dashiki Wild and Out t-shirts and everything. So cool. Like they were literally, it seemed like a vibe. But that was from the 2-second snippet. I don't know how the rest of the episode will be, so don't blame me if it's not good. But I also want to shout out Genevieve because she was also a part of Essence Magazine's panelists. So they had a panelist discussion, and she was one of the speakers that they had come out. But I stand for Genevieve, so I just have to say that one.
All right, true that. Shout out Genevieve.
And then last but not least, as the special political correspondent of this podcast, I have like a little bit of a curveball shout out. I'm shouting out Mitt Romney. Let me tell you why. He's the only like bipartisan vote from the impeachment. Now
I know why.
I knew why. I think it's good.
And I think that's super cool, super dope. He's not my favorite politician. He's been known to be opportunistic. He sometimes makes decisions that better his political standings. But I mean, in this case, he didn't really have much to worry about because he just won like a 6-year Senate race or whatever. So he's solid in that sense, but this definitely put some fire under him in the sense that like a lot of his constituents and people that do support the Republican Party are not happy with him. They have some choice words for him.
Can you say what he did? Because just in case people don't know exactly what you're talking about.
To give you guys more context, the vote for whether or not Donald Trump should be convicted landed at I think it was a 51-49 vote because Mitt Romney jumped from one side to the other on one of the articles of impeachment. Yeah, I think it's
they just voted along party lines, which is why it was a whole waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 articles of impeachment, one of which that he did not convict him for, and the other he did. The one he convicted him for was, I believe, obstruction of justice. Excuse me. That's the one that he let him go on. Obstruction of justice. He doesn't agree with. But I can't remember.
On the other one, that's fine. I didn't want all the details.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. So that's what happened. He jumped party lines as the only person in office that's done that, period, ever in history. When it comes to impeachment votes, he's the only one that, voted.
That's an interesting question for trivia.
You have to stand up for what's right at the end of the day. It's not all about parties.
Exactly. And I appreciated his speech so much. It was very heartfelt. It was pretty good. And I just thought it was a good thing for him to do. Made him a good man in my eyes.
All right. Shout out Mitt Romney for standing up for his beliefs. If those are his beliefs.
Yeah. But catch Davido, this is an African podcast, so catch Davido on Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for listening, guys.
Bye. See you next time.